despite the Cowboys winning, you weren't terribly impressed, calling it excruciating ecstasy. Is that what it was earlier, right? So were you more encouraged or discouraged by what you saw yesterday?
Shannon Sharp, what have I told you all these years we have worked together here on Undisputed? I am, I like to think, an objective Cowboy fan. Sometimes I'm over harsh in my objectivity. What is the old saying about, I can criticize my wife, but you'd better not?
Exactly.
Okay, that's why I get offended when you start criticizing my Cowboys because you're criticizing the equivalent of my wife. But I can criticize my quote-unquote wife. And yesterday was endless agony for me that ended in ecstasy. I still can't quite process how they pulled it out, but they did pull it out. And the bottom line takeaway was, if Tom Brady had still been quarterback of the New England Patriots, we lose that game. If it had been Dak in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, we lose that game.
Or you play any elite quarterback, you're losing that game.
And yet, for long stretches yesterday, my Dallas Cowboys looked poorly coached. They looked undisciplined.
No, poorly head coached.
Okay,
the other position coaches are outstanding.
All right, there were a couple times, Dan Quinn, I'm like, really? Because what's driving me craziest is that they persist in trying to make Micah a stand-up linebacker and let him play coverage.
No.
And he tried to cover Ramondre Stevenson out of the backfield early in the game. It was a 22-yard. We don't need to see it. But it's like he's not that great at passing.
You want to keep him to the line of scrimmage or the other side of the line of scrimmage. You don't want him down the field, Skip.
Okay, just let him wreak havoc.
Yes.
Mostly let him rush the passer.
Yes.
So I question the mentality of that, the brilliance of that move, because it feels like you're trying to overcoach him out of his position, what he does.
We're trying to say, we got this guy that's so versatile, he can do everything. He can play the run.
Watch what we do. Watch what we do.
There you go.
No. I'm watching it. I'm not loving any of this. And my team also didn't look early on ready to play the football game. They just didn't look ready. So in the end, I go to sleep last night and I thought, I'm so happy the bye week got here, because I was discouraged by what I saw, except for the fact my team won the game. That's the bottom line. Is my quarterback and my stud emerging receiver just said, hey, we're better than you are, Belichick. Watch this. And I'm talking about Dak and CeeDee Lamb, pulled it out of the fire. And it was in the fire, and there were 7 ways I thought we were going to lose it down the stretch, and we did not. In fact, I did my classic jinx tweet about this game is over, because I only do it because when I'm about to give it up, I think, well, maybe this will be a reverse jinx where it'll allow the door to be reopened by the jinx gods, and it actually worked yesterday. But my point is, all I can say to the good, to the great, is there's something different about this team. It's the swagger, it's the mentality, it's the belief that they're going to win these kind of games that they didn't used to have. My quarterback has decided he can win all these games. He did his darndest at GOAT to beat the GOAT. He drove it and completed every pass and went down late in the game and made a throw to CeeDee Lamb on 3rd and long for 31 yards that set up what I thought might be the winning field goal, but you left the GOAT 124. But that was Dak at his greatest. And then at Justin Herbert, he goes 5 for 5 in that last drive, and they get a walk-off field goal in spite of the coach who completely mismanaged the clock at the end of the game. We saw him mismanage the clock at the end of the half yesterday. So there's a lot of in spite of. So let me count the ways that I went to bed discouraged. My Cowboys were 3 of 13 on 3rd down. That usually will lose a football game for you. My Cowboys committed 12 penalties for 118 yards, and many of them came on 1st down. I don't have time to detail for you. I wrote them all down last night, but it's holding, illegal hands to the face, false start, ineligible receiver downfield, all of them on 1st down. It kept being 1st and 15, 1st and 20, 1st and 25. Well, you know and I know that's the way to lose to Belichick's defense.
Well, and Carter Williams, Skip, he better be glad.
He had
that
2 on 1 play.
He better be glad they said it wasn't a dead ball, because they could have marked it off and then gave him both of them.
I think they blew that, actually. I think it deserved both 30 yards, right? It would have been 25 yards. Right? It was a hold on top of
sportsmanlike conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
So that'd have made it, what, 3rd and like 40, 30, 40, or 50.
Well, it was 3rd and 25. And
so if you give them the other 15, Skip, so now you make it 3rd and 40.
Okay. And my quarterback, as great as he was in the end, I'm sorry, in the first half, he's got 2 red zone trips. They actually failed on 3 red zone trips, but he throws, if we could see it real quick, he throws an interception trying to force feed Cedric Wilson.
But it was 4th down, though, Skip.
I know. Okay.
So,
all right. Can we see the Cedric Wilson throw, please? Yep. And he tries to force it in the end zone, and it's late and behind, and it gets tipped up into an interception. I got it.
Yeah, it was late.
But again, they're brazen about this.
Right.
Usually, they're usually like, you can't stop us.
Right.
And then they block a punt. Who blocks a punt on the Patriots? But your guy that you watch grow up, right?
Yep.
Bones, right?
Yep.
Fossil. You played for his father,
It was offensive coordinator.
Your offensive
Jim,
coordinator. Rest his soul. And Bones Fossil gets a guy free up the middle, and they block the punt.
Right.
And they get it. There's the punt block. And they get it in plus territory, and here they go. And they get it all.
Like the 16.
It was Luke Gifford got it. Yep. So, so they suddenly set up shop, and it's 1st and goal at the 1. Well, Zeke had gotten off to a bad start in the game because they'd gone for it on 3rd, obviously 3rd, but 4th down early in that first series, and he's going nowhere. So could we see what happened at the goal line? We got 1st and goal, and I'm tweeting, just sneak it, and he goes wide, and he just doesn't have that kind of burst, and then he tries it up the middle, and he just can't get home.
Coach Belichick defense, Skip, they're not going to let you get the edge. They're taught to run to the edge and force everything back to the middle.
And there's the sneak on 3rd down that I was calling for, and I'm pretty sure he got over. I just thought, and then on 4th down, he tries to go over. And here's what got me about McCarthy. And again, they got that. That's Bentley. That was advantage Bentley because Juwan Bentley just got his hand on the ball and he knocked it loose. And that was the correct call, is that it was Patriots football. So we come up with 0 points on the Cedric interception and 0 points on that. But McCarthy, on 3rd down, it was so clear on about the 3rd replay that he got in that I'm saying, well, again, you can't challenge it, but if you'll just cool it.
Take a time. You should have just taken a timeout.
Or take your time in the huddle or something. Give them a little bit of leeway to come to their senses and say, time out.
But in a situation like that, Skip, I don't think they were going to come to their senses. I don't think they were willing to overrule the on-field officials in that situation.
Maybe not.
Not their, Skip, because they're very hesitant. Because I thought... who was that player? I thought in the Miami-Jacksonville game, Skip, I thought that ball hit the guy's left index finger.
I agree.
I really thought it did. Right, on the punt.
It was close.
It was close, Skip, but it looked like it.
But they called it on the field. It didn't touch.
Right. And so because they on the field, they said he was short.
That's a game-deciding call.
Right.
Okay.
But I believe they're going to be very, very hesitant they call it on the field. They said he was down.
Okay.
And then go back to replay and say touchdown.
Okay. So my defense. Some days I'm up. Some days I'm down. I went to bed down on my defense because it allowed Mac Jones, a rookie quarterback, to score 4 touchdowns on them. Do you realize the Patriots in their first 5 games had managed to score 8 total touchdowns?
Skip.
Huh?
And he was 15 of 21.
15 of 21. I mean, it's not for high yardage, but every time he needed something, he got it, right?
Yeah. But, Skip, I was encouraged for all the reasons that you say you were discouraged. I was encouraged. They were 2 of 5 in the red zone, as you mentioned. They were 3 of 13.
What did it cost them on those 2 plays? It cost them at least 10 points, right? But you could argue it cost them 14 points.
But this is why I was encouraged, Skip. As you mentioned all those things, 3 of 13 on 3rd down, 12 penalties for over 100 yards. The time of possession was in your favor. In a game that you would normally lose, you found a way to win.
That's all I can say.
Trayvon Diggs seems every week that you need a play, he's making it.
Could we see that, please? I got to see it again. It does my heart good. Because this one shocked me. This knocked me on the floor right here.
And that's when you look, Skip. That's when you know you living good. Is that every time the ball...
carpet ride.
Yep.
And look at the burst. This kid can fly now. Whew. Yeah, this is just living right. This is you're just on a magical roll.
You're getting one of those. You're getting one of those zones. It's like a guy getting sacks, and all of a sudden he'll go on a streak, and he'll have like 6-7 straight games where he has a sack.
Okay, so I could barely tweet unbelievable off this, and when I had to turn right around and tweet unbelievably bad.
Right.
Because what happens on the next play? If we could please see the next play, it's literally the next play.
Yeah.
This happened. What?
Yeah. Diggs, why you even care if you Why you even care if he catches a 10-yard out? I know you're expecting help over the top, but say, you know what, just play it, you know. He's one of those guys, Skip, he don't want to give up no catches. He's trying to go in the game and be clean. He's trying to be like a Revis or a Time where I ain't even giving you a catch that day.
So who was the target on the interception? Kendrick Bourne.
Right.
Right? It went right off Kendrick Bourne's hands. So it came from Josh McDaniels, but they turn right around and say, okay, watch this.
Because knowing Skip, you study, you know what's he more apt to do once you get one. What is he going to do?
Bite. He's going to jump it. He's going to clue it and jump it.
Yeah.
So if you do the out and up.
Yeah, you double move him.
Okay, double move him, you could get him.
Yeah.
But Diggs is not worried that much about it because he does, in this case, have safety over the top.
Yeah, he got Kazee over the top.
And it's way over the top because he's playing like deep center field.
Right.
But he's got that side of the field.
Right, yes.
And when the ball goes up, it's a mad throw like, okay, you got me, I'm going to get you back. And remember, they're Alabama teammates, obviously Mac Jones and Trevon Diggs. And he fires it, and it's completely...
I thought it was picked. When it left his hand, and I saw the trajectory, and I saw how, I'm like, this ball moving slow. I said, this about to get picked.
It should be ill-fated because it's a bad idea throw. You're basically, your primary receiver on this is Kazee to me, right? Yeah, and I don't know what Kazee's doing. It's like he lost it in the air. He took the worst angle. It should have been his ball.
I don't want to get too technical, Skip, but they're playing single high safety with alert coverage. They're looking for somebody to jump the crosser coming across. So he was in the center of the field, and he sees him looking this way.